Healthy active parents take the last video. First class, thousandaires. I don't spend cash at restaurants and coffee shops if I can help it. I don't drink, I don't smoke, and you better believe I prepare for what's to come. Good or bad. I take it serious, and I hope you do too. It's the 5 centenario era. Cheers to you, friendo. All right, here we go. I got a list of 10 reasons, plus a bonus. Who doesn't like a bonus? 10 reasons why if you stack gold and silver, you are much smarter than you think. That's right. I'm wagging my finger at you, friendo. It's not polite to point, but you're just so smart and you need to know it. So get ready for an awesome list. So hit that like button to show some gratitude. After all, I work for you, not the bullion dealers and mining companies. This channel will always work for you. I'll find other ways to make some filthy fiat, paper promissory notes that merely promise payment in more paper. I'll eventually get paid for my efforts, but not by compromising my channel's integrity and undermining the intelligence of the audience. It's quality over quantity here in the wealthy community. I appreciate your likes and comments more than you know. Let's get started. If you're stacking gold and silver, you may be smarter than you think. And in today's world, that could very well make you part of the new high-status elite. Here's why. Number 1, you understand real wealth versus fiat illusion. Unlike cash, which loses value over time due to inflation, gold and silver hold purchasing power. Purchasing power. It's much more important than just number go up. Who cares if you got more cash and you could still only buy the same thing you could when you had less cash, or even worse, less. Yes, the fiat illusion is very real, but it doesn't seem to work on you, friendo. Why is that? Why are you not like the others? You're really making it difficult for unworthy people to rule over you. Rule over you and those that you care about. Speaking of unworthy people trying to rule over you, governments and central banks hoard gold. Why shouldn't you? The true elite measure their wealth in assets, not paper fiat notes. Hold on, you do that too. Do you not know you are an elite? Or are you just modest? Maybe you got some kind of esteem issue. Well, you shouldn't. I could go on about that, but I don't want to be here all day. All right, so let's get to the second reason why if you stack gold and silver, you may be smarter than you think. And in today's world, that makes you part of the new high-status elite. Here's why. Number 2, you're playing the same game as the ultra-rich. Central banks, hedge funds, and billionaires invest in precious metals. So they're doing the same thing that you're doing. Or are you doing the same thing that they're doing? Which came first, the chicken or the egg? While an average person chases paper wealth, you're securing real, tangible value. If gold is just a rock, why do the world's most powerful entities keep stockpiling it? The world's most powerful entities. Hold on, you stack gold and silver. So you have something in common with the world's most powerful entities. That's creeping me out. I gotta move on. Moving on to the third reason, if you stack silver and gold, you may be smarter than you think. And in today's world, that could make you part of the new high-status elite. Here's why. Number 3, you're immune to financial system failures. Banks can fail. Currencies can collapse. Governments can default. Gold and silver, always valuable. Unlike digital assets, your metals can't be hacked, frozen, or devalued by policy changes. Every asset has its pros and cons, and there are vulnerabilities to stacking gold and silver, no doubt. But it will take more effort than just being hacked or a mere policy change or some fiat devaluation murmured out of the mouth of some fool to take the value or the physical gold and silver you possess. They'll have to be a bit more proactive and likely take on bigger risk. Much bigger risk. I'll continue. Precious metals act as a financial insurance in an unstable world. I'll interject. If you're piling into precious metals at an all-time high and the world seems to be stabilizing, you should know that stabilization could lower the dollar value of your gold and silver. It's happened before, not even that long ago. We're talking about drops of 45%, 65%. They've happened, and it's taken some time to recover. We're talking about a decade. If you don't have a time horizon of a decade or more, that could be a problem. That is, if you have an overconcentration of wealth in gold and silver. I'm not giving you financial advice. I'm just advising you to think. It irks me to watch pumper channels incentivize real people to make big mistakes. Maybe that's why I got out of sales. Even if you try to conduct yourself ethically, that doesn't usually sit well with the employer who wants you to push more product, regardless of any outcomes other than profit. I'm not saying I do not have the capacity to be cruel, but I typically try to reserve it for the psychopaths out there that don't understand anything but consequence. Certainly not the people that have placed their trust with me. I could go on, but I don't want to be here all day making a video. All right, the fourth reason, if you're stacking gold and silver, you may be smarter than you think. And in today's world, that could make you part of the new high status elite. Here's why. Number 4, you have something the masses don't. Most people are chasing digital wealth, stocks, crypto, and fiat savings. It's kind of sad reading this because I don't think those people are necessarily low IQ. I think they're just very busy. For generations, here in the States, and really probably many other countries around the world, if you saved cash, you were saving money, whether it be gold, silver, or both. Paper notes were deployed as claim checks on your gold or silver at the bank. They were much more portable and easier to conduct trade with, but they were still gold and silver. For thousands of years, that's what we used, gold and silver. And make no doubt, that's what we still use. But now the masses are denied their gold and silver, unknowingly. So they stack their paper, as their parents and grandparents did. But they will not get the same results as their grandparents, because their grandparents' paper was a claim, again, on gold and silver, and today's paper is a claim on more paper. The masses used gold and silver, and then they were trained to use the claims on the gold and silver, and then the claims on gold and silver just became pieces of paper. It's a violation of trust, and I believe it was knowingly. And now we get to witness the inevitability of it. Runaway prices. Will they run away faster than we can catch up? Who knows? Probably. Most likely, actually. Maybe not, but that's not where I'm placing my bet. You can probably tell that the violation of trust really grinds my gears. It's this massive fiat rug pull. And when they all come crashing down, I wonder who's going to be there to bail them out. Maybe it's not as bad as I think. I don't know. Oh, it's been a few minutes. I got to beg for a like again. If you already have not, can you please hit the like button? And don't just sit idly by. Let me know what you think about any of these things in the comments below. And that includes if I'm very wrong. I care about coming to consensus. I'm not really worried about debate. If you disagree, that's great. I want to hear it. I may need to hear it. And if you do agree, I might need to hear that too, so I can keep going on in the same direction. And maybe you can bring up some things on the same topic that perhaps I missed. I know how smart you are. Don't just keep it to yourself. All right, I'll continue. Less than 1% of the population owns physical gold and silver. You're in an exclusive club. Well, here we are, friendo, in an exclusive club. Elites. I mean, come on. Did you not always know you were an elite? I kind of always knew. That doesn't mean I liked it. I'm not saying I'm ashamed of it either. All right, let's finish up this number 4. When economic turmoil hits, stackers won't be the ones panicking. The funny thing about panicking is, even if you are screwed, it doesn't help. So you may as well calm yourself, prioritize, and implicate. You know, I'm pretty optimistic, but every time I go grocery shopping, I can't help but to stock up on some canned goods. It's not just about stacking the gold and silver with me. Is every stacker a bit of a prepper? Are we always subject to doom and gloom outlooks or bearish thoughts? I don't think so. I think it's a part of healthy critical thinking to review the downside once in a while. Maybe even a little more so than the upside. But what do I know? I'm merely upper poor. Not every elite is rich, I guess. So let's move on to the 5th reason. If you're stacking gold and silver, you may be smarter than you think. And in today's world, that could make you part of the new high-status elite. Here's why. You think generationally, not just month to month. Gold and silver have been stores of value for thousands of years. Your wealth strategy outlives trends. You're not just stacking for yourself. You're creating an inheritance of real money. While others think about the next paycheck, you're thinking about legacy wealth. I've always said I'm not a big fan of legacy. Leaving someone a bunch of money who's not ready for it could actually hurt them. Maybe this is why you hear so many stories about haunted treasure. Now that I'm thinking about it, are the stories of haunted treasure so much different than the stories of sudden big lottery winners? Something to think about. All right, let's move on to the 6th reason. If you're stacking gold and silver, you may be smarter than you think. And in today's world, that can make you part of the new high-status elite. Here's why. Number 6, you're ahead of inflation, not a victim of it. While others watch their purchasing power evaporate, you're preserving yours. Historical data shows that gold has outpaced inflation over time. You don't need a government's permission to fix your wealth. Gold and silver do that automatically. All right, here's an interesting tangent. Over the decades, a silver dime or a silver quarter has consistently held value to buy essential goods, despite inflation eroding fiat currency. Here's a short list of what these coins have historically bought and can still buy today. A silver dime. 1. A loaf of bread. In the 1940s through 50s, a loaf of bread cost about 10 cents. Today, a silver dime, melt value, about $2, can still buy a loaf. A cup of coffee. In the 1960s, a cup of coffee was a dime. Today, that same silver dime could buy a basic coffee. A gallon of gas, nearly. In the 1950s, gas was around 20 cents per gallon. And today, 2 silver dimes will still get you that gallon of gas. A silver quarter. A pound of meat. A quarter used to buy a pound of ground beef. Today, its silver value still covers the cost of a pound of ground beef. A gallon of gas. In the 1950s and 60s, a gallon was 25 cents. Today, a quarter will still buy about a gallon. A dozen eggs. Oh, here's a hot topic. In the 1950s, a dozen eggs cost 30 cents. Today, a silver quarter, $5 melt value roughly, can still buy a dozen. That one may be off. I believe there's some short-term volatility in the egg price right now. I'm recording this video in February 2025. Yeah, so if the egg price doesn't stabilize, well then maybe silver is undervalued. I'm sure it'll stabilize. Apparently there's a bunch of sick chickens they had to destroy. It's fascinating when you think about it. You could save many pounds of ground beef in a freezer. Or theoretically, based on some evidence, you could save many pounds of ground beef in a mason jar in the form of silver quarters. Or gasoline, loaves of bread, and probably eggs too. This is what silver and gold are for. You put fiat paper notes in a mason jar, you almost certainly will not get the same results. Are you having fun? I'm having fun. If I could somehow get paid enough to quit my crummy job and do this full time, I would really enjoy this. We'll get there. No offense to my crummy job. I really like the people there. All right, so let's move on to the 7th reason. If you're stacking gold and silver, you may be smarter than you think. And in today's world, that could make you part of the new high-status elite. Here's why. Number 7. You're part of the high-status wealth class. Owning gold and silver is a power move. It shows financial intelligence. New money flashes luxury cars. Old money and smart money stack metals. As inflation, digital controls, and financial crisis grow, metal owners will be the new elite. So what do you think, friendo? Is that us? It sure could be, especially if you have a mason jar of pounds of ground beef. How did you shrink them down to that little size? And you don't need refrigeration. That ability sounds pretty elite to me. What do you think? Put it in the comments below. Oh, if you're new to my channel and you're enjoying the content, why not subscribe for more? Join me in my journey. And I'm serious. I'm on a journey to grow my wealth, and it's working. Maybe one day I'll have to change the name of the channel to Millionaire Radio. It's not so far-fetched. A million's just 1,000 thousands. And with inflation, I think we'll be there before you know it. We'll probably see things like the $1,000 menu at a fast food drive-thru. What? 1,000 doesn't even get you a slice of cheese on the burger? Man, I remember the good old days when you could get a burger for $500. And it had cheese on it, and the robot used to wave and say, "Have a nice day." Man, times have changed. Moving along to the 8th reason. If you're stacking gold and silver, you may be smarter than you think. And in today's world, that could make you part of the new high-status elite. Here's why. Number 8. You're not controlled by the system. Precious metals are outside government and banking control. No counterparty risk. Unlike bank accounts, gold and silver don't require permission to access. Ha! You need permission to access your money from someone else, and it's not even real money. It's just pieces of paper. This all adds to the illusion that it's valuable. It's like expiration dates on sodas. I had opened and drank a soda that was over 10 years old, and it was just fine. I think they have these expiration dates to add to the illusion that it's some kind of real food. When's the last time you opened a pop and you said, "Oh, this smells horrible. I think it's spoiled"? No, never. You might not be aware of marketing tactics, but marketing tactics are very aware of you. If you watch a lot of television, listen to radio, or consume a lot of content, chances are your inner monologue is not even yours. Even if you don't but you listen to people that do. It's the same thing. Look how crazy everyone's been since the television. And it seems to just keep getting worse. And by crazy, I mean they do the same old thing expecting different results, acting in their own disinterest. And they're everywhere. There's so many of them. Maybe the zombie apocalypse is real. All right, I'll continue. You hold real sovereignty over your wealth, not just a number in a bank's database. All right, let's continue on to the 9th reason. If you're stacking gold and silver, you may be smarter than you think. And in today's world, that could make you part of the new high-status elite. Here's why. You know history, and history favors gold and silver owners. Every fiat currency in history has eventually failed. Gold and silver remain. I think I have a quick example of how we can prove that's true. Have you heard of divers bringing up old sunken ship treasures? And they say, look at all these $100 bills. We're rich. That would be like finding a bunch of gift certificates to a business that no longer exists. Remember, cash is just promissory notes, which promise you goods and services from the country in which it was issued. And even if that country still does exist, chances are they're not honoring those promises any longer. They're expired. And that's assuming these notes could even survive in the ocean for many years. A gold coin that's been in the ocean for hundreds of years looks just like it was the day it was issued. And almost certainly will buy you the same things it would buy you then, but I'm sure much, much more. All right, I'll continue. Empires rise and fall, but precious metals have been used as money for over 5,000 years. And while people trust government promises, you trust what has stood the test of time. I'm going to say that again. While some trust politicians' promises, you trust what has stood the test of time. You know, I feel like I'm only elite because everyone else is failing so much. I did not know that this is what it would be like. I mean, I kind of envy the ignorant, but I don't because I know no matter how blissful they are, trouble most certainly awaits them. Maybe it's not that bad. There's some fiat winners out there. And some politicians make good on their promises, I'm sure. But more often than not, I don't think so. Wow, we're here already to the 10th reason. If you're stacking gold and silver, you may be smarter than you think. And in today's world, that could make you part of the new high-status elite. Here's why. Number 10, you're playing offense while others play defense. Gold and silver aren't just protection. They're strategic financial weapons. When economic chaos happens, stackers capitalize while others suffer. You're not just surviving inflation. You're profiting from it. So what do you think, friendo? Did you enjoy the list? If you want more videos like this, then engage as much as you can with this video. You're smart. Help me out with the algo. Hit the like button. Hit the like on every comment you see in the comments below. Make a comment. Let's have a conversation. Don't want to have a conversation? Leave a comment, but just put some algo food. Ring the bell. Share the video with others. Let's not just take back the stack, but let's maybe bring our money back. Let's people the world with stackers. Because that's how it used to be. You want your kids being ripped off, stacking paper promises in their shoebox, putting it in their bank, using Venmo? Come on. Not just inflated away, but no privacy, overdraft fees. I don't know about you, but I don't want to be an elite while others are suffering. And I certainly don't want to profit from it. With that being said, the bonus final thought. Stackers aren't just smart, they're visionary. In a world of debt, devaluation, and financial illusions, those who own real assets will emerge as high-status individuals. I guess whether we like it or not, huh? You know what else I guess? I guess that's it. That is it! Thousandaire Radio, wicked job. I'm going to the LCS, local coin shop today. I'll show you what I bought tomorrow. See you then, friendo.